guys. So welcome back. Today we are going to be doing some more comparative things. However, today we're going to add a little bit extra measurement in there and converting measurement. So we're going to do 4 problems today. Today's just going to be the practice work on it so you can take notes, keep up with it, all the wonderful things. And like I said, it's going to be a little extra work because we have to do this extra stuff, but I know that you have got it, so we're going to get it all together and get it done correctly. So I don't have my reference sheet with me. And so what I did was I wrote down a few things that we're going to need just for today. So let's get started. All right. The first one here, Helen has 4 yards of rope. Daniel has 4 times as much rope as Helen. How many more feet of rope does Daniel have than Helen? So we're still going to be doing our normal quest, circling our question mark, underlining our important words. How many more feet of rope does Daniel have than Helen? Daniel has blank more feet of rope than Helen. All right, and then looking in these, we're looking for how many more. How many more tells me that somewhere I'm going to subtract, okay? And then I want you to look at something. I'm seeing feet right here, but up here I'm seeing yards. So when we think about converting our measurement, we think about the 2 things that we did before. We actually did this the week before last week where we had our measurement conversions. And so we're boxing our 2 measurements because we're going to end up using those later. Now we're going to go through with our segment and tracking and kind of layer up our comparative things just like we did on Tuesday. So Helen has 4 yards of rope. Okay, so there's going to be Helen. And then we also know there's going to be Daniel. I'm just going to get that set up, okay? So Helen has 4 yards. I'm going to fit that in there, okay? Daniel has 4 times as much rope as Helen. So 4 times as much. So I know that's telling me times 4. So Daniel's has to be a little bit longer than Helen's because they have the 4 yards, but it says also 4 times as much. I'm doing times 4, okay? So I'm going to put my measurements on this side because in the end, we want to know how many more feet does Daniel have than Helen, okay? So she has 4 yards. If this is 4 yards times 4, my math should be 16 yards, okay? But here's my next step. They want to know in feet, which means I have to set up a conversion. So I have yards and I have feet. So when I wrote over here what we needed, 1 yard equals 3 feet. So remember, I'm finding the relationship. I'm increasing, so I'm going to multiply. 1 times what gives me 3? Oh, I know that 1 times 3 gives me 3. Okay, so I was able to find the relationship. Now I'm going to plug in what I know. I know 16 yards. So I'm going to plug that in. That means I'm going the same way, so times 3. So 16 times 3. So I've got 6 times 3 is 18. Drop my 8, bump my 1. 1 times 3 is 3, plus 1 is 4. So 48 feet. So he has 48 more feet of rope than Helen. Pretty simple and kind of quick when we go through it, guys. Okay. Now, we also have these wonderful QR codes if you want to check your stuff as we go down. Okay. So we're going to move on to the next one. This one's a little different also. So with this one, we're going to be working with perimeter and area, but we're still going to have to be converting measurement as we go. So Jason bought a rectangular canvas and a square canvas with the same perimeter. I find that word perimeter, I'm going to box it around because perimeter is the outside. The rectangular canvas is shown below. So they have the same amount, okay? What is the length in feet of one side of the square canvas? Same thing, underlining what is, okay? Let's see. The length of one side is blank, and they want to know in feet, okay? All right, beautiful. So we're going to go back through and look. So like I said, we're looking at the same. So what I'm going to do is start us off with our formulas. So perimeter of a rectangle, if I look over here, is 2L plus 2W, okay? So I have my two measurements here, so I'm going to go ahead and plug in what I know. Perimeter equals 2 times my length is 1 plus 2 times my width is 3. Okay, once I plug that in, then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start solving my problem. So perimeter equals 2 plus 2 times 3 is 6. So perimeter equals 2 plus 6, which is 8. And again, this is yards, 8 yards, okay? Now, remember what they said. They said that the area, the perimeter of both is the same for the square and the rectangle. So I've already solved for the rectangle, so I'm now going to solve for my square. Perimeter equals 4 times S, okay? Well, now I'm going to plug in what I know. We know that they both have the same perimeter, which is 8. So 8 equals 4S. So I'm actually going to break this down just a little bit to kind of help solve this. 8 equals 4 times S. So 4 times what is going to give me 8? 4 times what gives me 8? So this is when I can use my skip counting to check it. So 4, 8. 4 times 2. So 8 equals 4 times 2. So 2 is plugged in for the side, okay? So it's going to be 2 yards. Don't forget that though, yards. Well, guess what? They want to know in feet. So I've got to do my measurement conversion, okay? Once again, I've got yards to feet. And when I look over here, 1 yard equals 3 feet. So I'm going to find that relationship. It's times 3 again, like I did earlier. And then I'm going to plug in what I know, okay? I have 2 yards times 3. So 2 times 3 is going to be 6. So I just found out that the 2 yards is actually equal to 6 feet. Okay? To 6 feet. We're going to pause this for a second so you guys can catch up and do what you need to do. Okay, guys, sorry. I know that I paused it on my end while I'm letting you guys give some time, and I'm not really paying attention to the fact that it's still going. So let's continue where we were at. All right, so we did 1 and 2. Again, I've got this QR code if you want to check anything for that one, okay? And then we're going to move on to the back. All right. This one is a little bit different. Not gonna lie to you, it took me a quick second to look at this and see what exactly is it that I'm doing. So it says Maria, Alexis, and Donna are sisters. They each individually measured the length of their backyard. Which sister measured incorrectly and why? So when you first look at this, you're like, well, I don't know. There's not a lot of information. What do I do? Well, what we have to do is do our converting of measurements to see which ones are similar, which one is not, to see who is incorrect. So, getting us started, we're looking at the 3 different measurements that we have: feet, inches, and yards. Okay, so we're going to start off with our top 2 first. I'm going to start off with feet and inches. Okay, so I'm coming to look. 1 foot equals 12 inches. So I'm going to find that relationship. It's times 12. Okay, then I'm going to plug in what I know. What I first know is 48 feet. Well, I'm going the same way, so it's going to be times 12. Okay, I've got a big problem here, so I want to make sure that I'm solving it correctly. 48 times 12. All right, so cover up that 1. So I'm going to multiply 48 times 2 first. 8 times 2 is 16. Drop my 6, bump my 1, because I always start in my ones places, okay? Then I've got 4 times 2 is 8, plus 1 is 9, okay? I am done with this plus 1. I am done with my 2, okay? And then I always start my next line with that 0. All right. So now again, I'm starting with my ones place. 8 is in the ones place. So 8 times 1 is 8. 4 times 1 is 4. Well, now I've got 2 parts I'm going to add together. So 6, 9, and 8 is 17. Drop my 7, bump my 1. 4 and 1 is 5. So this is 576. Okay, 48 feet, yes, is correct because we used it up here. Okay. It equaled 576 inches. Okay, that's what Alexis had. So that means that those two are equal together. Okay, but now I have yards. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to look into yards and feet. Okay, so the reason is because when I'm trying to look at yards and inches, there's a whole bunch of mixture between them. So I'm going to go to the next two that are together, which is why I'm doing yards and feet. So yards, feet. 1 yard equals 3 feet. So again, that relationship is increasing times 3. So now I am going to plug in what I know. I know 144 yards right here. 144. Okay, well, to get from the other side, I'm multiplying times 3. So let's check and see if that one has a connection with any of these up here. So 144 times 3. 4 times 3 is 12, but my 2, again, 12 plus 1 is 13. 3 plus 1 is 4. 432. So I do have this, but there's no correct measurement that connects them here. So that means that Donna's was not correct because they all measured the same length. So that means that Maria measured correctly, Alexis measured correctly, but Donna was off. So Maria, she got it right. Alexis got it right, but Donna was wrong because the other measurements are equal. Okay? All right, guys, one more we're going to do. All right. Same thing here. Let's look at what we got. This one's a little bit different, but we're going to go through it. Evan's toothbrush is 2 inches longer than shown below. Sam's toothbrush is half the length of Evan's toothbrush, and Brady's toothbrush is 3 inches longer than Sam's toothbrush. Use the ruler on the mathematic reference material to measure the length of the toothbrush to the nearest inch. So this is one that you would use your ruler on your reference sheet, but since I don't have one, I just have my own little pretty ruler that we're going to use. Okay, and just so we know before we set it up, how long is Brady's toothbrush is what they're looking for. Okay, Brady, let me set up. Brady's toothbrush is blank, and we see they're all in inches long. Okay, now before I even start this, I'm going to set it up just a little bit. I see that I have Evan, Sam, and Brady. So Evan, Sam, Brady, just to get us set up just a little bit, okay? All right, so the first thing is I'm going to find my inches on here, and I'm going to measure them. Okay, I'm going to turn this a little bit. They said to the nearest inch. So I'm going to start here to here. And I see that the nearest inch is going to be 6 because it's higher than the 5.5. So the nearest inch is 6. So I'm going to put that this is 6 inches. Okay. Now that we know that, we can get started with our segmenting and tracking. Evan's toothbrush is 2 inches longer than shown below. 2 inches longer, which tells me I'm going to have to add somewhere. So if this is 6 inches, okay, Evan is going to be the 6 inches, and it said 2 inches longer. So plus 2 inches, okay, which is going to equal in total 8 inches. Beautiful. Sam's toothbrush is half the length of Evan's toothbrush. Half the length. That means I'm going to be dividing by 2. We want to make sure we're circling those words on there to know that, okay? Half of that. All right. So like I said, with these, a lot of the problems that we're doing today, it's a lot of different kind of math that we're doing, not just comparing, not just converting, but it's a whole bunch of mix and match. So I want to make sure that you guys are at least getting the mixture of all the things that we're doing, okay? So continuing where we were, Sam's toothbrush is half the length of Evan's toothbrush. So Evan's toothbrush is 8, right? So what I'm going to do is draw this at least to halfway. Okay, because half of 8, my head I should know, is going to be 4 inches, okay? So 4 inches. All right, the last one is Brady's toothbrush is 3 inches longer than Sam's toothbrush. So 3 inches longer than Sam's. So if Sam is 4, so it's got the same amount plus a little bit more. So it's got the 4 inches, but then again, they said longer than tells me I'm adding. So 3 inches should give me 7 inches, okay? And remember for this one, we had 8 inches divided by 2 because it was half, okay? Which gave me 4. All right, so my question in the end was, how long is Brady's toothbrush? Well, now I'm finding Brady. Once I figured it out, I see that it is 7 inches, okay? All right, so this is all that we have for today. So I did want to give a shout out. I was able to, Yaleda was the one who sent me the homework that I gave on Tuesday, all finished and done and pretty and everything. So thank you so much for that. And like we said, anytime we're doing any of these, guys, make up your own questions. Solve them just like I solved them today, okay? We are all in the same boat together here. We are making it through, and we're working hard and working together, guys, all right? So any questions, you're more than welcome to send them out. You're more than welcome to email your teacher, email me. Anything you need to do, you can send Facebook messages to any of the teachers that are on the group, whatever you would like. And please don't forget to watch our YouTube videos every single day on reading, writing, and of course our math videos. So thank you guys for watching.